for America program. So the total amount that can be committed from our agency is 75%. So you would actually have to put in at least 25% at this time. Now there's ongoing changes that may happen that may change the requirement some. So I generally tell people to go to our website, and at the bottom, it will generally say if you want to sign up for updates. So if you go like this page that I've got pulled up right now, you sign up for updates, put your email address in here and sign up, and it will help to identify updates to you through your email. Now, go ahead.
I have a question, if you don't mind. And also, did you hear me when I answered the question? I was backstage, but I was saying that we had Alabama and Florida residents a part of the cooperative.
I did not hear that, but that's one of the reasons I was telling about how to get to the state. Select the state, and then it will show you the contact for that state. And that helps you because even though this program is nationwide, the same program, different offices handle it based on the state location.
Understand. So every time we go to something on the website for rural development, we have to click our state so that it'll go to our agency, correct?
Right. Can you see right now where I've got it up here? It says for state specific information and then select the state.
Yes.
So if you select the state, like I'm going to select Georgia this time up here. And again, there's a couple of ways to go through this, but see, there's an overview and then it goes to apply.
Okay.
And when you go to apply, it tells you also about the Systems for Award Management, SAMS, which if you have to pre-register for that for most of our programs, that now goes through grants.gov.
Okay.
And if you need more information on that, it gives you a link to that. Now, some people have been told that you got to pay to actually go on what we call SAMS, but there is no cost for going on SAMS.
So it's free for System of Award Management.
Right.
Okay.
So don't allow anybody to talk you into paying to actually sign up for that because you need a number. They call it a unique entity ID number. And so we have to have that before you can actually apply for the program.
And so a lot of farmers have asked me questions about grants. And I think we're talking about REAP. Do they need to narrow down one project, or when they go to rural development, is it just a lot of programs that they may qualify for and they just have to choose one, or they should already be prepared and know their project before they get on this website?
I suggest for any ag producer or small business to go ahead and do the planning before you apply. You might apply for more than one program. Like we were talking about in Albany, we have a Rural Energy for America program that ag producers and small businesses are eligible for, but also ag producers are eligible for value-added producer grants, which helps with working capital. So I would suggest that you work with maybe small business development centers or through some cooperative extension and determine exactly what you want to do. Now, with our Rural Energy for America, you have to be either saving energy, have an energy audit, which can be done, or you have to be actually going with renewable energy, the solar, that also helps with saving energy. So that's something that you can contact someone about, maybe even some of the EMCs, the electric membership corporations, or some of your utility providers can provide those energy audits. You want to know what's going to benefit the business, your farm, however you look at it before you apply.
Okay, thank you.
Does that answer that?
Yes, ma'am, it does.
Okay, and then see all of the tabs here across here, contact. It tells you exactly who the contacts are for Georgia. Again, Joe Anderson's our energy coordinator, but Chris Young is down in our Tifton office, and he sees a lot of the projects that are in South Georgia. We have a lot going on down there, so those are the two contacts for Georgia. But you again could select Florida or Alabama and get the contacts for those states. And here, I always like to direct people over here to the events too, because they have the recorded webinars that talk about updates on our programs. So if in each one of our programs, this will be similar. There may be some webinars or maybe there's none. But right now, the Infrastructure Improvement Act REAP webinar as of April the 4th is recorded and something that you can look at.
Okay.
The original one was done in January. But again, that's something that you can actually listen to and may help you with deciding how you want to go about your project to help with REAP.
Okay, we have a question.
Okay.
We have Miss Sandy Newton. Does it have to be organized like full on business plan?
Well, when you talk about a business plan, generally you're talking about how you're going to operate your business. When I talk about doing a energy audit, that's probably more familiar with our Rural Energy for America program because you're looking to see how you can reduce or replace your energy that you're using. Like if you have coolers, coolers probably cost a lot of energy. So if there's some newer, more energy efficient type coolers, that's something you could work with, then that's more important, the energy audit for this. Now, do you want me to switch over to other programs and talk about where a business plan is important?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we're going to go back up here to this tab of programs and services. Under USDA, we have so many different programs. We have single family housing, we have multifamily housing with apartment complexes, we have community facility type programs, and of course, what I think is the best, business programs, of course. So I'm going to select business programs, and you're going to see how many programs that we have right now under our division. So one that I like to go to that I think might work the best for talking about a business plan for agriculture producers is our value added producer grant. And I'm going to click on that. Now I'm going to also select Georgia. And I know that there's no possible way, if you're just hearing about this today, that you're going to meet the deadline. But when you look at each one of our programs, it tells you whether it's open and when the due date. So if you were to submit paper applications to our office, you would have to have it in by May the 16th. The electronic applications have to be in by May the 11th, which means they're sent by the computer. Now, if you're sending something other than through grants.gov, which is where you should be applying, but if you're sending something just electronic, please be sure that there's some kind of way you're encrypting your information because there's a lot of personal information on those documents. So you don't want to just send them out through the internet, through email. Please make sure you're trying to protect your personal information. But most of the times, you should be sending those applications through grants.gov. And this gives you a link right there to grants.gov. But when we talk about value added producer grant, let's say that you're doing row crops and you have tomatoes or corn or something you're going to add value to. I use the most famous one that I think of is taking tomatoes and peppers and making salsa. Or some people make barbecue sauce, or some people make a specific type of ketchup.
Okay.
And this is for those that want to add value to those products they're growing. They pretty much have to be their own producer of those products. Okay. So it
Okay.
tells you here who's eligible. And I know that we had talked about um, maybe coming together as a cooperative and maybe selling produce as a cooperative. And I mentioned to you, Mickey, that you probably need to do a market study to find
Right.
out how much each ag producer is going to provide to the cooperative to actually sell, and then everybody benefits from it. So you have to show how this value added is for the working capital, not for any machinery, equipment, or building improvements. It tells you right down here that each year we get approximately 31 million nationwide. So as you can see, that's pretty competitive because if you're spreading it up over 50 states, 31 million doesn't go a long ways. And what happens is it looks at the project and we score the project and the highest ones are funded. So if you wanted to do like a planning grant, and Mickey, we talked about this too, is if you look at a planning grant, you look to see the feasibility of what you want to do with your product. Let's say someone says, I want to take blueberries and I want to make it into a blueberry wine or a blueberry jam or something along that lines. And you put together your business plan, looking at maybe small business development center or something, some other entity that helps with that planning as
Mhm.
far as your business plan. And then the feasibility study looks at your business plan to see if it's a viable or feasible type project.
Mhm.
And so that's the way you know whether to move forward with your plans or to step back and say, that doesn't look as profitable as I need to repay a loan. If I need to actually borrow money for machinery and equipment, or I need to have a packing shed that may be needed for something along that lines, or you need to have something like a centralized kitchen, whatever you need. So you want to make sure that you're planning it out first. And the max that you can apply for is 75,000 there. Now, if you're already in business and you want to expand, the working capital grant can go up to 250,000. So let's say this is a match, which means that if you pay someone $100 for their salary work for your business or your on your agricultural farm, then you can actually ask for $50 from the working capital grant. You put in 50 and the agency matches it with the working capital grant. And
Oh,
this is something that's reimbursed. So once you make the payments, you would be submitting your invoices, your documentation where you paid it, and then the agency would reimburse based on that working capital grant. Yes, Nikki.
okay, we got one more question. It's scoring guide criteria. Is this listed or outlined anywhere?
Yes, it is. Okay, so back up here, it says fact sheet, Federal Register, or grants.gov. But I'm going to take you to our resources. This is resources, and then directives. That means what the regulations, as most people have heard, federal government goes by instructions, regulations. So when we go over here to instructions, we're going to look at the regulation for value added producer grants. And it's down here at the bottom. So we're going to look at 4284. I think it's the one right here, 4284J, which is value added producer grant program. And I'm going to click on the PDF, and it tells you a table of contents. Also, what I usually do is I open it in desktop. Take just a second, I'll show you why I do that. And then I click on find text in document, and I'm going to look for, I hope, score sheet, see if it will take me right to it. May not. Nope, not that way. Okay, let me just put score. Come on. I typed faster and didn't find it. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is the scoring applications. And it tells you how many points you can get for every one of these. So I'm looking at, if anybody wants to write it down or remember, 4284J, and I'm looking at page 36, it starts. So it tells you exactly what you can get have points for. So the first one is nature proposed venture, and you describe it, what all you're going to do. And then it goes through that page, page 36, to over to the next page. See how far it goes down. And see, it talks about a work plan and budget, which you're going to have to identify. Now, I'm going to take you back to another page when we get through here, but this is where all of the points are determined, how they are determined. Now, I want to go back a minute, back to this. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm going back to value added again. Mm-hmm. And when you look at it, it says to apply right here. And it tells you exactly a planning toolkit for the planning grant or for working capital toolkit. This helps you to apply for the value added producer grant. You do have to be an ag producer, or you have to be one of the categories that I showed at the top. When we go back to the overview again, it says beginning farmer, rancher, socially disadvantaged farmer, rancher, small or medium-sized farm, ranch structured as a family farm, farmer or rancher cooperative, or proposing a mid-tier value chain. Now, we don't have very many of those, and I'm not exactly sure how that would work, but those are all the eligible applicants for the value-added producer grants.
Okay.
And again, if you click under other requirements, it doesn't say any other requirements, but remember you have to do that SAMS, which is under to apply. You still have to do the SAMS to get a number.
And SAM stands for System of Award Management, right?
System for Award Management.
Okay.
And it gives you a link to it. Now, sometimes it takes a little while to get that approved. So what I tell people, don't wait till the last day to think you can apply, because it takes a little while to put this narrative together for value-added producer grant. So like right now, if you're just hearing about this today, start thinking about how you can put it together for the next fiscal year, because it comes around only once a year generally. I think we did have some additional funds when COVID happened, but right now there's generally just one funding opportunity. And so if you always put your email address in and you want to be notified of this program, then that helps you to remember when those notifications come out.
Okay. Okay, great.
Now, again, this gives you the contacts. Joe and Chris are the contacts for the value-added producer grants too. Any questions on value-added producer grants?
I don't see any as of yet, but I want to just sum it up so that people will understand. And I think we'll understand this part. So what we're doing is turning grapes into wine.
Right.
And we want to either do working capital, which means that we're already in existence of turning grapes into wine, and we apply for the working capital, which is worth $250,000. And you showed us how to go to the PDF to see the different criterias and what we need to see on on this stage. I'm trying to see. And then the other thing was the planning. That means we're starting up trying to turn the grapes that we already have into wine, or we want to add value to what we have. Am I right, Miss Karen?
Okay, so the planning grant is to see if that is feasible or not. So when you
When you
think
say feasible, you mean make money?
profitable, profitable, because you don't want to move into, okay, I've got to buy this type of machine equipment to actually have it convert into the wine. I've got to have this kind of storage facility. I've got to have all of these other things that I'm going to need that's not going to come from a value added producer grant, because you're only going to be able to use that for working capital. Now, I tell some people that if you are right now existing in paying all your working capital, well, of course, it'd be good if you could get half of it funded through this grant, and then you could use the other working capital that you already had, that half that's going to be used with the grant, and purchase the machine equipment you need, or help with putting up the building that you need. So,
Right.
so although it can't actually go, the grant funds cannot go into machinery equipment or building, it helps you to cash flow your business where you have more funds that might be able to repay a loan or purchase those machinery equipment. But you want to know up front before you move into all those expenditures, hey, I'm planning my business where it's going to be profitable, where I can repay it. And see, if you have to go to a lender's going to want to see that your business is going to be profitable enough to repay the debt. So all of it's a lot of research for businesses when they first get started. Even if you're an ag producer, you're still a business, so you still got to plan out everything before you get to the point of actual purchase, so you know everything's going to work out. Because those first 2 years, Mickey, I would say is hard times, even in the best situation. So you want it planned out. You don't want to just move into it without good plans.
And Miss Karen, I think I've had the worst situation because it's been 4 to 5 years and I'm still planning and still trying to see what works as a beginning farmer.
And,
So
and you know what? Sometimes we have to ask for people to help us. There's a lot of
that pride.
different places that you can research some things. Um, in my mind, I'm risk averse. I don't like taking risks, so I'm not
Risk
interested.
avert, I love it.
But but my thing is minimize, mitigate those risks as best you can, and planning is one part of that. And
So you telling me to push my pride to the side and ask another farmer to help me?
I would say if another farmer knows better,
Yeah.
yes, I'm going to ask. And we talked about at the Albany meeting, they had SCORE there, which is through the Small Business Administration. They have mentors that help with different programs or different businesses, different industries. Reach out and ask someone for help, because otherwise you want to be profitable.
Right. It's all about it's a business, right? So when we're applying, they're looking at our paperwork to see if we're going to conduct it such as.
Yeah.
Um they have a question below. Let's see what that is.
Okay.
Okay. Miss Sandy Newton says, "Is there a template? Did I miss that information when I stepped away?"
Okay, the templates, that toolkit that I showed, do I need to go back to that?
Would you like for her to go back to the toolkit? Yes, please.
Okay, hold one
So,
second. Okay, so I'm back on value added producer grant, and I'm going down to apply. Is it showing up pretty good, Mickey?
yeah, I see it, to apply.
Okay, and then you're going to look at application planning toolkit or application working capital toolkit down here.
Okay.
And it also says that this can be actually uh, right off grants.gov. Toolkits can be accessed through grants.gov. And here, here's some of the forms. Everybody about knows the SF 424 is application for federal assistance. It really doesn't give a lot of information, the narrative to your project. And there is some assistance on that down below, like locally produced food, mid-tier value chains, harvester applicants. Now, I have not gone into each one of those, but there may be some ways that can help you with especially locally produced foods. I think, Mickey, is that mostly what you see in your area?
Yes, we have. I think what I see mainly is, um, well, I can tell you this: we got Park Vineyard, and I know they have all the muscadines, and then you have a lot of people who at the farmers market who go pick from other farms and bring it to the farmers market. And I know that there's a barrier there, like if they were able, because like I told you about the incident that just happened. So there's different types of producers, but I've noticed that a lot of the people that are trying to farm, maybe their family members have passed away who was over the farm, and it left mom and daughter to try to figure it out, or they're selling things on the farm. So it's like they're pretty much starting over and just want to know farming 101 and exactly how can we get started and what do we do. But then you have people that are silent, and you're just really trying to find a mentor or find someone that can actually assist you with the programs. And by the time you find out that you can apply for something, you're late. Like they might just now be finding out about the value added program. And like you said, it's not enough time for them to apply. So I think this is great information. And I think them being able to navigate on this platform and see exactly how to go to this website and know exactly where to go, when to go, without asking someone physically, or if they can just call their local cooperative extension agent. I know that will help them definitely. So,
Okay, well, you brought something else up, Mickey, that I think is important for anyone is farmers.gov. I have referred a lot of people to this website because rural development is just one part of USDA. There's so much more that is available through USDA, like I was talking about earlier, the Farm Service Agency or NRCS, Natural Resources and Conservation. We also have agriculture marketing, which in Albany, I found out some things that I didn't know about how they're doing that farm to school products and produce and how that works. So if anyone can look at this farmers.gov, it gives you assistant tools, farm loan discovery tools, disaster assistance discovery tool, conservation. There's a lot of things that are here based on even how to start a farm. We've had a lot of veterans that want to get started, or even just beginning farmers, people that have not done that in the past. So there are tools here on this farmers.gov that I think is important for anyone to actually look at. And also down here, now in Georgia, rural development has about then we have 6 areas, so about 2 offices in each area. So we got 12 area offices generally, and then we have our state office. But if, let's say, you want something about a farm service or natural resources, you can select the state and county, and it will tell you exactly where the local office is, where you can actually maybe see someone face to face. And like, let's just say Berrien County for down in the South Georgia area. It will tell you where the local office is in Nashville. It'll tell you who the person is that's there in that office.
and I have a question. Isn't it great to have a networking experience with each farmer? Like, so we have a cooperative full of farmers. It's
Yeah.
best that these farmers meet the individuals that are in the area and get familiar with them and build that relationship so that they'll know what's coming down that pipeline. Or because it's okay, because we have different type of people who learn. They learn hands on, they learn listening, they learn by visually watching something. So I'm just thinking, um, if people who are listening to this just know to contact their local FSA office, um, or they can just do appointments or they can come to them. So
Right. And on this, it does list us, in the Tifton office. We're in Tifton. And it does give you a point of contact. So sometimes, because some of our offices are pretty busy, it would be good to either call or email and say, I'm planning on coming in today. Would you be available to talk with me? And that way, someone can be prepared to talk with someone about their business or their farm. That helps us because sometimes I'm not in the office every day right now. And I was down in Albany, 3 days or 2.5 days, whatever. And so it's always good if you know where we're located and can call us or actually email us. And we're more than willing to work with you and meet with you. I did mention to Mickey that I would love to come down and be with you all, but it's a lot of time driving that I'm trying to help everybody. So, but it just helps. And also, if you have crops, we have that risk management agency, and that tells you how to locate someone there with risk management agency too. So, yes, if you're looking into doing different things on your farm, it's always good to meet with a local contact.
great, great. Do you know of any other organizations that are connected or already partnered with rural development that can assist, uh, just assist farmers, if it's to see how they're growing their solar panels, or to well, having solar panels on their farm, or see how they're growing their corn, or what new technologies that they may have used, things of that nature.
Well, I'm going to try. I'm going to try to go. I'm going to go over to the Small Business Development Center. I'm not sure how much they're connected to farming. If you go to Georgia, sbdc.org. And if you come over here, they have training. Let's see if see agribusiness right there. Some of the services, maybe that would be a good contact. It does give some information on related contacts. Okay, or I would, if you go over here to about, they'll have locations, and you can contact the location that's closest to you. And if they can't help you, then I'm sure that they would have a contact of someone in that area. Like Valdosta, the South Georgia area, Statesboro, and you tell them. Or I'm going to go over to University of Georgia. Um, uh, Now there's other universities that also help with different things. Like on here, I'm going to go Cooperative Extension, and then it takes you over here. Now, the extension also helps a lot with ag producers and small businesses. It tells you animal production, environmental, natural resources,
Oh
but
wow.
the also, like Fort Valley State University has some contacts. Abraham Baldwin, ABAC in Tifton, has a lot to do with different agriculture producers and what they can do to help. And also, which we were at Albany State University, they have help too. So It's just knowing who's local to you that can help you and knowing how to find them.
Thank you so much. The another thing is with that, we have a lot of elderly people, probably 70 plus, that probably do not know how to really navigate quite well on the computer. What would you advise to them?
I would advise that you call. If you call me, I'll find a phone number. Like if I look under Small Business Development Center and I look at locations, if you need help with locating somebody, I can tell you where they're located and the phone number. Um, but I try to help people if they come to USDA Rural Development for our program. If they come and I can't really help them, I try to direct them to someone.
Okay.
And the only way I can do that is if you call me and ask me what I can do to help you locate someone. Um, in my position, we don't really get into the structuring of the business. Most of the time, that's already done before you get to our agency. So we need to reach out to those that would help. Now, also, I was telling you, maybe you or someone else, about aceloans.org. They're set up with Small Business Administration to help with Women's Business Center. So it gives a lot of different things. I'm not sure they're as versed in the agriculture arena or not, but it does help. They have special programs. They have loans that they can help you with, and they uh, provide both technical assistance and financial assistance. They are located in the Atlanta area, but they will handle throughout the state. So it just
Okay.
gives you some good information of more things they can, more ways to get assistance.
Oh wow. Okay. Thank you so much. I think if we have any more questions, please comment below so that I can ask your question. Um, Miss
I,
Karen, go
I
ahead.
do want to go back
Go
to
ahead.
what, I'm sorry, did I interrupt?
No, I said go ahead.
Okay, so I wanted to go back. We do have a few grants, but a lot of our loans are not available for ag production. They're more like our food supply chain guarantee loan, where you would, if you were actually processing the agriculture product, transporting it, warehousing it. It's not for the ag producer and it's not for the retailer. It's the in between part of the food supply chain. You could put in for a food supply chain guarantee loan. That is something that where you would have to have a lender. The lender actually makes application to the agency, and then we issue a guarantee to the lender. That is similar to our business industry loan guarantee program, except that the food supply doesn't have a guarantee fee. The business industry loan guarantee does have a 3% guarantee fee. So that's something that is where you can be assisted. Um, we have had, if any of the producers are meat processing or wanting to do meat processing, then we have the Meat and Poultry Intermediary Lending Program, which CSRA, which is Central Savannah River Authority, was provided funding for that program to help with meat processing. Now, to get their information, just click on our intermediary lending program. Again, select Georgia, and then you're looking at the contacts down here. And hopefully you can go back and look at this intermediary list. And Central Savannah is located in Augusta, and they will pop up here, right here. Now, the intermediary lending program is still somewhat limited to agriculture production, but we can assist if it's something with the processing. And these intermediaries or what we call gap finance. And let's say you took your plan to a lender. The lender sees it's a startup, has additional risk. Maybe the lender would do 50% financing of the project. The intermediary on this list would do 40%, and then you would have to inject 10%. So that's how you get to that program. Any questions? I know I'm going through it pretty quickly, but maybe you can go back and look at some of this.
No, what I was told is they were happy about. Let me see what it say. They said thank you. Thank you for the information, especially the platform navigation. So, pretty much, I believe most of us that are in the chat or that are watching this are people who are just trying to make sure they do the right thing when they're applying, and also want to know about how competitive are the grants. Does it matter if we fill out an 80-10-26 for saying that we're socially disadvantaged or veteran ranchers or veterans? Does that matter as looking at competition?
Okay, first of all, I showed you how the priority scoring is for the value added producer grant,
Right.
but each program has its own. So we go back to the resources and we go back to the directives. And let me just say this, if it tells you got to submit all the information, you have to have a complete application. So
Okay.
make sure that you follow the guidelines. And I was telling you how you get to what our grants are. There's a lot of different programs here, but the 4284 grants, that's where a lot of the information is on our value added producer grant. And REAP must be under the next one. Let's see, let me make sure. 4280s, I think, where it's at right here. So, Rural Energy for America program. Now, if I want to confuse things even more, we have the Rural Economic Development Loan and Grant Program. That is where you would go to a cooperative. Now, again, ag production by itself is not eligible. There are a few exceptions, but generally this is for more of the processing if you're in agriculture production or if you're in another industry, manufacturing or something like that. Rural Economic Development Loan is through a utility entity, generally a electric membership corporation, what we was talking about earlier today, Mickey, and
Mhm.
they provide a 10-year loan, zero interest, could be servicing fee with it because they're going to, service the loan. But the cooperative or the utility provider comes to us for the loan, zero interest, 10 years, and then they relend it to that business to help them. So there is a lot that it would probably take me a couple hours to go through every little part of this.
I understand.
But if you know where to look for this information, it is here on our website. We also have the Rural Micro Entrepreneur Assistance Program. That is for the smaller loans. We only have a couple of entities that relend funds. That is on our website too.
And where can we find the ones that relend funds?
Okay, so remember I showed you under the intermediary lending program.
Right.
So you go to Georgia and then you hit contact, and that first link there has intermediary list right there. Okay. So
Okay.
let's say if you were under the different program, the smaller amounts, the rural micro entrepreneur, and if I get on here and it's not here, I'm going to be, let me see if it's also here. There's only a couple of the smaller ones, and that is for something that there's no construction with these type funds because it's a smaller amount, it's micro loan. So it just select Georgia again, and then look under contacts. Let's see. Hopefully, I've got it right. Okay.
We have a question too while you're navigating.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. These are the two that's with our micro entrepreneur assistance program: the small business that's located in Savannah, and the Southwest Georgia United, which is located in Cordell.
Um, Tyler Tucker said, "Is there someone at RD who can review and assist with the application process?"
Well, I can help with the application, but I don't do it myself. I mean, we have some people that actually get grant writers to help with the grants, but like I can answer questions as you're going through, let's say, the value added toolkit. We also have, let me just tell you this too, that might provide more assistance. Uh, right now I have 17 programs under our division, so you can imagine how much I'm trying to keep up with. But Rural Partners Network, let's see if it comes up. Oh no, that wasn't right. Maybe it's the wrong
So,
one.
are you the only one that can actually assist with the application process, or are there more people in the state of Georgia?
There are in my division there's 6 people. That's not it either. Let's see. Hold on just a minute. I'm trying to remember. Just let me think just a minute. Let me.
No problem,
What
Karen.
rural partnership is something that's new, that's trying to go to some more of our distressed communities to help with maybe some of that. Uh, let's see what it says. Okay. I may have to send that to you later, but there are
Okay.
some counties that are designated for rural partnership that they might can get that additional attention. Um, but I want to do here, let's see. Um, that's something
They
different.
have a post in the comments, rural.gov.
Okay, is that it? I apologize. I didn't.
Yes.
I was trying to remember right off the top. Um, yeah, that's it. This is where some people are in Georgia. We've got, I know, at least 2 that are set up. Well, we got 3 people work in Georgia, and there may be some assistance that can be provided more than. Now, I can answer questions. If you get on the to apply, I can answer questions. But to sit down and actually go through each part of it, um, generally we don't do that. But this tells you under rule that rule.gov what can be provided for uh, for anyone that needs additional assistance.
Okay, so this is a spot. Rural.gov is this place where we can go and receive the technical assistance for applying for these applications. If it's the if it does it matter what type of application, long as it has something to do with USDA, or is it only for rural development?
No, it's for more than rural development. I was going to look to see view all rural partner contacts. Okay, right on the front page, this tells you who's available. Either
Oh, wow.
so So this, see, they're all in different states. So Georgia, well, Reggie Taylor is our state director. So anyone, community liaison, it tells you exactly the counties that they're working for right now. Now, my understanding is as this goes further down the road, there are going to be more counties that are going to be added to this rural partnership. But it's always good. There's some of them that are located in South Georgia. I know that Mr. Johnson is located in Tifton, I think, in that office. So that might be some additional assistance. Now you've got agricultural marketing services that can help with some technical assistance too. So you need to figure out, first of all, what your plans are. What do you think is a program that you want to apply for, and make all the plans for it before you decide to actually apply. Now, let me see if I can go over to AMS.USDA.gov. because they have different entities that also can resources here and publications. Um, Mickey, on our website, I showed you all the publications for cooperatives. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, AMS has the same thing. Some publications that might help you to actually decide exactly what you want to do. It looks like maybe the best thing is to put in a search criteria, because it looks like at least how many pages on here that has some kind of information that might be of assistance to people that are planning their whatever they plan to do.
Okay. And so I've heard that UGA has different types of statements like budgets, feasibility statements, but they may be older. They may be like 2022, and then we have inflation prices. Is that the type of search engine you're talking about, where we will be able to see planning and things that will help us apply for these loans or grants?
Right, because the cooperative extension, they have in the past completed some feasibility studies. Dr. Wolf, Kent Wolf, that was there, I think he's retired or is not no longer there, but they do some cooperative feasibility type studies that might be of assistance. When I was talking to you about UGA cooperative, I think the website is CAES, Cooperative Extension Agriculture or something. But anyway, if you go on the University of Georgia's and put in search for cooperative extension, it'll take you over there. But even here is some resources under the agriculture marketing system. So I know, Mickey, you said a lot of people are not as familiar using the internet, but a lot of the information that might help them, it may be on these websites. But again, I would direct you back to cooperative extensions, small business development centers, some of our colleges like Abraham Baldwin, ABAC, some of those that can help with the start of any project. And most of our projects, the difficulty is not in filling out the forms. The difficulty is in the narrative part. And so
Right.
you go to under SBDC, and they have tools to help. Now, whether they'll do it exactly for you or not, I'm not sure, but they give you tools to help you get started. So I know I saw the other day where you could actually, of course, you can go to some of their training. They have some training that's available, and I'll tell you starting a business, different things that um, are available. But there is, I think, where you can actually get templates. Even Small Business Administration gives some information on how to start a business, growing a business, just different information that's available. Planning your business. Okay, and then that's all there, but I want us to look at SBA too. SBA has a good website too that provides technical assistance and learning platform over here. It boots to business. That's where they're helping the veterans. Also, if you're looking for funding, they have lender match where they help with getting a lender. You would actually put your project into their website, and if a lender looks at maybe something that they're interested in, then they contact you through lender match. Also, um, I just saw down here at the bottom they do have contracting assistance programs. Have you told Mickey about the contracting where you can actually contract to provide something to the federal agency, or you know that's going to provide something here? You can actually be like a women's owned small business federal contract.
Yeah,
Have you?
well, I have mentioned that to the members of the cooperative. I told them about Miss Nancy Cleveland, who I met with Apex Accelerator,
Right.
and they have the EI Square programming, and I believe we probably signed up 10 people for those programs within Georgia just to get virtual communication with one of the counselors there, because they will actually walk people through on how to become WOSB certified. They are creating workshops for people to sit in and bring their laptop, and they'll leave with their certifications completed so that they'll be able to be seen. I went through the webinar, so that's amazing. Issue that I've just seen is, for one, the technical assistant. We're not used to navigating these processes or knowing exactly what's the latest information for ag. So I thank you for giving us resolutions to those problems, because now we see that we have SBA, WOSB. We see that we have the rule.gov, where we can go ask cooperatives for technical assistance. We see that how to navigate the rural development website, where to go, what publication to click on. Oh my gosh, just a wealth of knowledge. So thank you, Ms. Karen, because we have a lot to take in. Now we have to find someone that can sit down with us individually, or when we need assistance, or just walk us through. We probably need some little hands-on training. So now I think we can go, because I'm a farmer too. Like I said, I've been in it for about 5 or 6 years. I I've grown crops. People sold the crops I've grown. Things happens when you're not having a mentor or a organization that really knows what they're doing. So this, with you being on live, with you being present, you being the director of business and cooperative programs, and telling us exactly what to do and how to do it, is amazing, and it's a testimony for a lot of us, because all we're seeking is knowledge, and you gave us a lot today in 1 hour.
Well, Mickey, I would say start off in maybe phases. Hey, I really need to get this done. How do I get this done? And that way, if you jump into everything, it may get too confusing, Mickey. That's just sort of my thought process. But let's start with research. Now, there is a USDA agency that provides commodity information.
Mhm.
There used to be statistical information that might help. Uh,
Okay.
I'll look that up and I'll send it to you and link in the email
They say
later after we get off. But
NASS,
that's it.
NASS, NASS.
I think so. Let me
Yeah.
just look right quick. But hey, they know more than I do. I don't know if they got them more than I.
Good friend Tyler.
They used to. Let me share again. I used to. They were in the same building on the same floor with us for a while. So I always had them down there, and I forgot how they were listed. But can you see
Let
now?
me make sure I place it on. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, and I have a question about this. I've never heard of Census of Ag.
Yeah, I mean they've been doing it for years, and like you just select the your state down
Mhm.
there, and that can provide some information that's up to date, I would think.
And so, do they do enumeration count just like they do the regular census, or it's a little different?
Well, this is where you can the data and statistics. You can
Mhm.
click on that. You can go to the crops and plants, demographics, economic prices. Now, honestly, Mickey, I got enough that I've got to keep up with right now that I can't really get into a whole lot of detail about it.
I
But
got you.
as far as what I've used it for, but you were asking if you could get maybe up to date information.
Right.
So I think this is a good resource that you can use to get up-to-date information.
Great. Great.
And I appreciate that person that helped me with that, because uh, I
Time.
knew there was someone out there that's doing it.
So great. Great information. Miss Karen, we thank you for your time. And is there anything else you would like to share with us before we leave today?
Well, I'd just like to share with you that we try to help people as much as we can. And of course, that's my goal, is to serve the communities, to help them improve their economic conditions. So if you can't find something, or you want to ask me, just give me a call. My number, name and phone number is there on the website. If you don't have it, it's Karen Davis. My number is 706 552 2559. And the easy way to remember our email address is always karen.davis@usda.gov. Anyone that's in the agency can be reached that way, their name, dot, in their first name, dot, in their last name. So again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to tell you about our programs. And if you have any questions, contact us.
Thank you so much, Miss Karen. We appreciate you for coming on today, and we appreciate all the knowledge that you have given us. I believe we can move forward. I think we know where to go. I mean, if we don't know anything else, we know farmers.gov, we know USDA.gov, we know NAS, we know rural.gov, we know the location online where to go. And also, don't forget to channel into cooperative extension programs. Find your agent in your local FSA offices, rural development offices, USDA office. Find those people and ask questions. If you don't ask, you will never know. So we're going to see you again. If you have any information or if you need anything from me, I place Miss Karen email and her name. She's also found online in the comments below. So please go to karen.davis@usda.gov if you have any additional questions. And don't forget to look up those publications and deadlines online when you're seeking your grants and those awards. And don't forget SAMs. You need your system for award management in order for you to apply. So make sure you follow those links, follow that process, and get your SAMs. If you don't have your SAMs, most of the time you're not going to be able to apply for the programs that are available on those websites. So let's get into it. Let's just do it. Y'all have a great day, and thank y'all for joining us live. Bye. Have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you.